Hello, and welcome to What is Crypto? I'm Matt, and this is Crypto. Today I'm going to be talking to you about Kaspa, ticker signal KAS. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Kaspa's price action, what I'm seeing in the market, and some key levels to look out for, as Kaspa has consolidated pretty darn nicely, and I think Kaspa could be about to absolutely start ripping. Also, I'm going to have a little bit of a talk about leverage trading, a little bit of a talk about Bitcoin, where that's at, and generally where I see the market going over the next few months. So if that sounds like it could be for you, then smash that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Cheers, legends. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Now let's get into it. So Kaspa, I've been covering it for a long time, and I was screaming out for people to be buying between the 10 and 11 cent mark here. We formed a very similar descending triangle pattern as we had before, and since then we've broken out to the upside. We have a lot of big catalysts coming up for Kaspa. We have KRC20 coming up, which, if you're not familiar, tokens are going to be built on top of Kaspa or built using Kaspa. So in essence, people are going to be able to create meme coins, people are going to be able to create dexes and all other kinds of things on top of Kaspa. Now, I've got a little video talking about how to set up a Kasware wallet, which you can have a look on my channel. I think if you're looking to buy KRC20 tokens, watch that video. It'll tell you how to set up the wallet, which is a wallet that you'll need if you're looking to buy memes in the future on Kaspa. So anyways, what I'm seeing at the price action currently, we take our fib tool and we draw it from the bottom to the top. We can see that it retraced nicely, tapped our 0.618 line, which is great. Now, that's one of the reasons why I love using fib tools. So the 618 level made a huge amount of sense there. If you had a front ran that slightly, looking at the POCs, the 2 week and the monthly, you could have got a really good entry price there on Kaspa. Now, I was thinking that we were going to bottom at around the 14.7 cent mark. We did go a little bit lower than that, down to around the 13.7, 13.6 cent mark. However, regardless of that, the price action is looking really good at the moment. So we've had a decent run up, we've had a healthy bit of consolidation, and we're now holding above a key level of support and resistance. The 14.7 cent mark, which is where I wanted us to be buying, that's the key level that we've been holding for a long time. So the 14.7 cent mark, hugely important from its first massive run up. Really, it was kind of where we topped out around there with multiple candles closing around that range. And on our next run up, we had it as resistance, then we broke above it and held it as support multiple times. You can see this level is very key, and we've been using it since around November. So this time we've broken above it. We broke back below it briefly, but we've now been starting to close candles above this level. So anywhere around this level, I think if you're looking to add more Kaspa, is probably a decent place to do so. Now, I think we still have a huge amount more upside to go with Kaspa. We've got some upcoming resistance for a few things. So if we're looking more at the short term, we have a small amount of resistance coming up, which lines up pretty well with the 15.9 cent mark. So very small amount of resistance there, but it is still a key level to note. So I wouldn't be touching leverage anywhere around this until we're kind of confirming up or below. I also wouldn't be touching leverage at the moment on Kaspa, really, as Bitcoin isn't really sure what it's going to be doing. And by that, I mean Bitcoin, until it breaks and holds above 73K, I'm going to be avoiding leverage for the most part. So Bitcoin, we've been ranging between 73K and down to around the 60K. We did wick down a couple of times to the 56K mark, but by and large, between this 73K and 60K. And for the most part, it's been between 71K and 63K. So while we are at the low end of this shorter term range here, I'm still a bit hesitant to add leverage, as it wouldn't surprise me if we do wick down to the 61K mark or even a little bit below. Now, I think the overall sentiment for the market is hugely bullish, and there's a lot to be very excited about. So Bitcoin is on the lower end of its range. If Bitcoin does drop down to the 63, 61K mark, then I think we're probably going back to 13.7 cent mark. Now, huge amount of support around there. Still have a bit of support at the 13.1 cent mark. If we're starting to break and hold below there, then we're probably retesting this lower support band. So recap on that, as I've just been brain dumbing a little bit. Key levels to look out for are really our all-time highs at around the 18.3 cent mark. Yes, we do have an all-time high that's actually 19.3 cent mark, but I think this is a more key level to hold and close above the 18.3. We have upcoming the 15.9 cent mark, which I really want to see what we do here. I would love it if we could do something similar to this. If we can break through this small amount of resistance and hold above the 15.9, and then look to break above our all-time highs, consolidate above the 18.3 cent mark, then I think we're pushing up towards the top level of resistance. Now, once we get up there, it's probably going to be between the 26 cent mark and around the 30 cent mark, depending on how long it takes to get up there. If the market is bullish and Bitcoin's pushing up to 73K at all-time highs or slightly above, then I think we're going to flip this channel and then push up. Now, after we flip this and push up, we are going to see some absolutely crazy growth. Now, that is just my opinion. Obviously, it's not financial advice and you need to do your own research, but I am not selling my Kaspa yet. I will let you know when I am starting to sell it, but I do think that we have a huge amount more upside to go with Kaspa. Now, I've given price predictions between the $1 and $5 mark. I think $5 on the higher side of where it's going to go, although I am super bullish on Kaspa, and I think $1 is probably on the lower side of where it's going to go. I will probably start to shave off some profits around that $1 mark and then continue to do that for the rest of the bull market. Now, I do have some exit metrics, which I've got listed in my Discord. Discord is 100% free to join, so if you're not a member of my Discord, then I think you might get some great value from it. So I'll leave a link down in the description below, and I think it's a really good space to come and hang out. You can talk to me, ask me anything you want, and just really talk about anything crypto. We're pushing up around those 70 member mark, and I might think about cutting it after we get to around the 100, as it does become a decent amount of work. All of what I'm doing at the moment is free, not getting paid in the slightest. All of these opinions are just my own. So it is a huge amount of work for me, but I do love it. And crypto is something that I'm hugely passionate about. So link down and below in the description for Discord if you want to join. If not, no stress at all. Also, the other thing that I'm quickly just going to note is if you don't have yourself a Tangem, I would strongly recommend getting a Tangem. I'm not the biggest fan of people holding their Kaspa on exchanges, as when you're leaving your crypto on exchanges, they have the potential to get hacked, and even some of the biggest exchanges in the past, think FTX, have gone under. So having your cryptocurrency stored on an exchange is putting yourself at unnecessary risk. So by buying a Tangem, you can mitigate a huge amount of that risk and you can hold your cryptocurrency in a more secure way. So Tangem have never been hacked, and the chip in the card generates a random private key, so no one else ever has access to that private key. It's the size of a bank card, really easy to use. It's almost like tap and pay if you want to send your cryptocurrency to someone else into a different wallet or move it onto an exchange. You can also swap in between Tangem with a lot of different cryptos. Very compatible, highly recommend. I'll leave a link down in the description below. It is an affiliate link. I'll get a $5 kickback if you do buy a Tangem, so it'll be like buying me a coffee. Alrighty, enough of that. We'll get back into the video. So in the general crypto cycle, where we are at the moment, altcoins still haven't had their parabolic run. Now, I talk about Bitcoin dominance a lot, and the reason why is because it's very important. So having a look quickly at Bitcoin dominance, these yellow vertical lines indicate the Bitcoin halvings. When Bitcoin dominance is decreasing, the price of Bitcoin is going up, but the price of altcoins are going up more than that of Bitcoin. So really, the decrease of Bitcoin dominance indicates the outperformance of Bitcoin by altcoins. So it makes sense when you think about it in terms of the general market. When Bitcoin falls, altcoins fall more. So if Bitcoin is going down, altcoins are going down way more. Now that will actually show up as Bitcoin dominance increasing. Now when Bitcoin is going up and altcoins start to really rip hard and outperform Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance will decrease. In that time, Bitcoin is still going up, but altcoins are outperforming it. So what we can see is we have a period, say from July to around February, so 6 or so months after the Bitcoin halving, where Bitcoin dominance doesn't really do a huge amount. Now, in the next cycle, we've got from around May till around December. So a similar time period of around 6 months where Bitcoin dominance doesn't really do a huge amount. Now, 6 months from the Bitcoin halving would take us to around that November mark. So really what we want to see happen over the next few months leading to around that November mark, we want to see us push towards the bottom end of this channel, break below it, and then hold below and have a sharp drop off. And if this does happen and Bitcoin dominance starts going at a free fall, our altcoins are going to do super well. Now, I think Kaspa is going to be one of the better performers early for the larger cap of those cryptocurrencies. One, it's a proof of work, so I think it's going to run closely with Bitcoin. 2, it's new and exciting with really new tech. And 3, there are a lot of things coming up for it. We still haven't had massive exchange listings. I mean, it's on Mexi, but it's not on any of the tier 1 exchanges. We still have KRC20 to come, which should be implemented over the next few weeks. And we have to really note that we still have a relatively low amount of retail interest in crypto. So retail interest is at hugely low levels. Now, outside of our crypto bubble, minimal people are talking about crypto. even fewer people are talking about Kaspa that aren't directly in the crypto space. Now think about this compared to last cycle. Think about Cardano. Now people that weren't even in the trenches every day in crypto, a lot of them had heard about Cardano. It was on the news. It was being published on Facebook, in newspapers. Everyone was talking about Cardano. Now Cardano had some absolutely crazy price growth. So if you're doing a quick comparison with Cardano, you can see that it topped out at around the $94 billion mark. Kaspa currently has a market cap of under 4 billion, so that's like a 20 to 25x smaller than Cardano. So a 20 to 25x from here, 10x puts us at $1.50, 20x puts us at $3. You can do the rest of the math. So to put us somewhere around that $3, $4 mark. Now, I'm not saying that it will do as well as Cardano. However, what it is interesting to note is that you look here, Cardano had a market cap of around the $700 million mark. If you look here, it barely looks like it moved and it had a market cap of 5 billion. So 700 million to 5 billion and it barely looked like it moved. If you have a look at Kaspa, $700 million market cap sits at around here. So that same growth from there to there, which looks so crazy on the chart, is there to there on Cardano. So just a couple of things to keep in perspective, and note that if we do have an insanely parabolic price growth similar to the previous cycles, then we could go to some valuations that are absolutely crazy. Now, these charts at the moment look like Kaspa's absolutely ripped. However, at that time, it looked like Cardano had absolutely ripped there as well. So all relative, and just some things to think about. Now, I'm not saying Kaspa will perform as well as Cardano did. However, I don't see why it couldn't if retail does come flooding back to crypto and they do try and find a new golden child of this run. I think Kaspa definitely has the potential to be that, and it's definitely one that I am invested in and I'm going to continue to invest in. Awesome. Thank you so much for watching, legends. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. Make sure you let me know what you're interested in. If you're excited for KRC20, if you're excited for meme coins, and if so, what meme coins you're going to be buying on top of Kaspa. Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thanks for your support, and I will catch you in the next one.